We have this free app guide page that I'm about to show you. We're going to walk you through the green zone, the gray zone, and the red zone. Josh, why is the green zone good? What are you talking about, the green zone? Well, first, the internet is not safe, but it's the lesser of the three evils. So first of all, the green zone are a series of apps that are productive. When your students spend time on these, posts can be discovered by Google. Their efforts can be discovered by colleges. I want your students to spend time online when you're ready and have them come away going, yeah, this was good. The things I'm doing online are helping my chances of getting into my dream school. Next, they're professional. Colleges want and expect and are okay with finding your students on these networks. Next, they're positive. Green zone networks are tied to a student's real identity, encouraging better behavior. That is the opposite of an anonymous app. Anonymous means bad, and I'm going to show you how very bad it is. It doesn't help. It's not productive. It's not professional. It will not be positive in the long run. And last, I'm not about tracking, but today I'm going to show you apps that are a little bit more parent-friendly. Parents can monitor their kids' presence a little bit easier. And I'll tell you what, when you get the opportunity to monitor a little easier, boy, let's take it when we can, right? Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you the 3 green zone apps that we're going to start off with. But you know what? I'm going to dive on over to our website, and this is why. You guys can all see our website, safesmartsocial.com, on the front of our page. We've got a digital citizenship conference happening in Los Angeles. There's even a virtual ticket you can take part in. We're going to click on this big image I just showed you. But the reason why we're going to our website is we just launched some new app guides that I'm about to show you that aren't even in my slides. When you go to this page, as you can see, it's called the Popular App Guide. All we did was we clicked on the Popular App, the Parent App Guide, or that big button that you just saw, and we're on this page. You see it's 3,400 shares. That means people have hit these buttons 3,400 times. Actually, Facebook has been pressed 3,100 times alone. So and you can watch this video for an overview of all of them, but we're going to go down to the green zone. Now, I showed you the internet can be a dangerous place for teens. You can read this long after I'm gone. Now, you decide when your students are online here, but raise your hand if, once again, are you on Facebook, please? Nice and high. Great. Many of you are. You understand that Facebook is a place where you can post on your desktop and your mobile device and everything in between, and you can view it. It's also based in the USA, which is great. Now, because Facebook's based in the USA, if something bad were to happen, heaven forbid, to any student, or we're wondering where the bullying's coming from, our officers and judges can go after Facebook and say, please turn over the IP data. And the important part is, you got to know where they're based, you got to know how they make their money, and you also need to know, does it affect my students' online reputation? We're in the green zone, which means it can be good and bad for your students. Now, next we have Facebook Messenger, which is a separate app. Many of you are familiar with this. Facebook Messenger, owned by Facebook, allows you to chat with anyone on Facebook. To initiate a conversation with users, you need to add them to your Facebook friend list. Now, just a side note, if you're ever wondering, well, we're going to look at a few apps that are really bad. I want you to know that you could open this up. You can click on the logo, and I want you to take a clear look at these logos and the name of it. And I want you to look at this, and if you click on them, you get a nice big video that you can play back. And the video also has an app guide that you can see. What do these apps do? In this particular app, and this is something I want all of you to consider, please. This is one of the nicest things I think I can ever do for you. And one of the most important things you can do to protect your kids is go watch these videos for free. It walks you through the SMS app versus Facebook versus WhatsApp versus the very, very bad app, Kik Messenger, which it seems like 30% of students in the US are using. And it is absolutely full of predators. And no parents know this. So I want you to consider, please, watching this video. Next, so we've talked about Facebook Messenger. We're in the green zone because it's a little bit easier to monitor, and it's productive, professional, and it's a little bit easier when your student is ready to be online in a more public manner. Now, Instagram. How many of us have Instagram? Raise your hand if you could, please. Terrific. Great. Now, a lot of us know that Instagram is really popular. Your students have jumped over to it and are spending a little bit more time there than they are on Facebook. Now, our friends over at Facebook, we're getting quite jealous of that. They're like, well, why are all these students running over there? So they went and recently they bought Instagram. So now Instagram is owned by Facebook, And that's very, very good for you. And here's what that means. I'm not saying Facebook is great, but Facebook is safer because they have built-in security precautions and safety features. And the nice thing about Facebook is now that they own Instagram, they've put in a lot of these security features. And it's a little bit safer. Is it perfect? No. But is it a better place for your student to hang out? Yes. It's got privacy stuff. You can post on Instagram only from your mobile device, but you can see it and Google can view it from a desktop. So it can positively impact your online reputation and negatively. Now we're going to jump down to LinkedIn. Josh, are you saying that my student should be on LinkedIn? Yes. Once your student is ready to start being public on social media, LinkedIn has lowered its age requirement in the United States to 14 plus. Your student can slowly start putting together an online resume of positive accomplishments. And what they can do is it privatizes their page default, but when they're less than 18 years old. It hides their image, it hides their last name, it hides anything about them. It doesn't let anyone market to them. And it is the world's largest professional network. And it gets kids thinking about, hey, I've only got one photo I can put on here, so I might as well post the best one of my professional image. And it's a really good place to get them started with a resume. I cannot tell you enough, and I am sent here based on... essentially, I am speaking to you on behalf of colleges all over the country. They want to see your student taking their online reputation seriously. LinkedIn is a place to start. We have a terrific LinkedIn video that teaches you exactly how to use LinkedIn, not only to research colleges, but to shine online when your student is ready. One of the best things you can do is to watch this LinkedIn for teens applying to college. Every high schooler should consider watching this video with their parents sitting next to them. It shows students how to shine online using everything you're doing in high school. Next, Pinterest. Can you raise your hand if you are on Pinterest, please? Anyone? Okay, terrific. Now, Pinterest is a visual discovery tool that helps users find and save ideas. It's a great source of inspiration for students. They can use Pinterest to find studying tips, do-it-yourself tips, and more. Kids have fun on Pinterest, and as long as they post pictures that are light, bright, and polite, it can actually get you in trouble if you're not careful. So you got to be, it can positively impact you, and it's based in the US. Now, Twitter. How many of us are on Twitter? Can you raise your hand? Terrific. Now, we all know Twitter's an online social network. It allows you to send messages up to 140 characters in length. It's a great app for students to share their thoughts and feelings. However, students must be aware that anyone can really view what's posted if their account is public. And if they're private and they are set to eventually tweets come up on the first page of Google. Very important to notice. We're going to talk about that in a moment. YouTube. Raise your hand if your students are on YouTube or learning on YouTube. Anybody? Great. Please raise your hand if you've seen stuff pop up that's inappropriate on YouTube. Anybody? Yeah, most of the room. And that's because YouTube is a wonderful resource for learning. There's not a day that goes by where I don't go learn something from YouTube. But please, if your students are less than 14 years old, please consider not leaving them alone in front of YouTube. YouTube has content that perhaps could be worse than HBO late night. I mean, it can be really, really bad. So please be careful. YouTube is a free platform for watching and uploading videos. It's owned by Google. It's the second largest search engine in the world. This YouTube video that we have for you here is probably one of the best things that we've ever done. Can a YouTube help a student's online reputation? We show you how our intern in the office, we took her online reputation from nothing to something. We used YouTube to positively impact, so when you search for her, she does some awesome stuff in real life, and we put that online. She just recently got accepted to her dream school. And her parents called me, and they could not be more proud. So this is something, if you have middle school or elementary school students and you're wondering, well, how does this help? This is the video to watch. Everything in the Green Zone is mandatory. I gave a speech to hundreds of people yesterday in 6 languages. It was live translated. And our number one requirement for all of them was, please go watch the Green Zone videos. It's 7 minutes that will absolutely change the way your student is online. Okay, we're now in the gray zone. These apps can be good and bad for your teens and tweens. We recommend that you have a dialogue with your students about sexting and inappropriate content if your students have these apps. Although some people are very scared of Snapchat and Vine, we're not 100% against them since there are way worse apps that your students could be using. Now, Vine isn't great, but we suggest every parent put in the time each month to have a dialogue with their students about the apps they're using. This is the best way to keep your students safe, not by restricting students, but by talking with them. Okay, once again, the Periscope app. How many of you have heard of or used or have students that are using the Periscope app? Please raise your hand. Okay, the Periscope app is a location-based app. It allows users to watch and broadcast real-time videos. It's easy to find your kids on Periscope if you know their Twitter usernames. Some teens get in trouble using Periscope app. It's basically a live broadcasting app that only works on a mobile device, but it can be picked up on a desktop. Google can find it. Periscope is owned by Twitter. And it was bought because it's got some live broadcasting, very popular aspects to it. But think about it. It's very bad if you can see people from all over the world with no content monitoring broadcasting whatever they want. So be very, very careful there. Now, SMS and text messaging. We all know that it is one of the primary apps that each phone has. All accounts are connected to a phone number. SMS is relatively safe. I mean, it can be very unsafe, but it's trackable and the least difficult for parents to monitor because everything goes through your cell phone provider. But students are really easily getting around it. Now, Snapchat. How many of us have students that are using Snapchat? Raise your hand if you could. Great. Is anyone in the room confused about how Snapchat works at all? Okay, we've got one person in the back. Do you mind if I pretend like I'm Snapchat's marketing team and walk you through how they market to your students? Is that okay? Okay, great. Snapchat says the following items. They say, hey, students, we are the Snapchat app. We're 100% free. We're based in Venice Beach, California, not too far from where Josh is live broadcasting right now. And we are a free app, students. You can download our free app to your iPhone, your Android, your parents, any kind of device that your parents have that's not a desktop. Your tablet, essentially. And for free, students, you can take a picture, a video. You can then add squigglies, text, colors, all kinds of fun thing to make it your own. And for free, students, you can then send this to your friends that have for free downloaded the app. And we promise you that when you send this video or this picture with all your squigglies, and it could be of you being silly, we promise you that it will go away and disappear in a designated number of seconds that you have designated. And you can trust us because we made our logo a ghost so that we promise it will go poof and disappear eventually. Now, do we as parents believe that? Do we as adults believe that information goes poof? Nod your head or shake your head if you could. No, we don't. Yeah, right? But do you think that your students believe that? Yeah, they do, because you know why? You're great parents, you're great educators, and the reason is you are protecting your students and bringing them up in a safe society, a safe place, a safe atmosphere. And why would an app be out there that would harm them? Why would an app be out there that would save their data and lie to them? Well, I'm not saying they're lying to them, but if you go read their terms of service, they have the opportunity to save your data for several weeks. And students can screenshot. You know how you can take things that are less than temporary and make them very permanent, or temporary and make them less than temporary in your phone. So be wary on the Snapchat app. We've got a great app guide that you can go watch. Just to show you here real quick, I want to show you our Snapchat parent app guide. And if you were to click on this, and you were to watch it, you would see, and this was one of our first app guides, you would see that it has 15,000 views. It's really one of the things that people discover us by. We've got 14 kids that hate me. 84 parents. You can tell the parents love it and the students hate it because it's hard to read. What should I say to my mom to let me have Snapchat? Right? People are commenting, like kids say I'm a jerk, and parents go, wow, this helped me a lot. So please go consider watching this. 214 shares. We don't even promote these. They just end up being helpful to parents. I accidentally clicked a button. Okay, back over to the popular app guide. We talked about Snapchat. Now we're on to Vine. Now Vine, I told you about Facebook. Facebook went and got jealous that Facebook got really jealous and Instagram was getting a lot of popularity. They went and bought Instagram. And then our friends at Twitter got really jealous that those two were getting along and growing. Twitter got really jealous and they said, well, we want to be a part of the fun. So Twitter went and bought the Vine app. Now the Vine app is incorporated into the Twitter app. Not incorporated, but it's part of their company. Now, Vine is a video sharing app. Can you raise your hand if you're familiar with Vine? Okay, a third of the room, half the room. Now, Vine is, I'm not sharing with you any apps that are unpopular. I am not today warning you about apps that have 5 users. Vine has so many users that celebrities are created on it. People that we know of get 1 to 2 to 5 to 7 million followers on Vine, and they end up becoming so popular, brands throw them money saying, please wear our shoes in your Vine videos. Please talk about us. Kids often post videos of their everyday life and blunders. Kids want popularity, so they try to collect more views and revines from friends and strangers. There's a lot of crude humor. This video has received a bit of following from us, so please just know that the Vine app is very popular. You can only post to it from your mobile device, but you can view it, and it can positively impact or negatively impact your Google results, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Okay, the WhatsApp. How many of you have WhatsApp? Can you raise your hand or have it or know what it is? Okay, WhatsApp is a mobile messenger similar to short SMS or text messaging. Users can share location and contact. WhatsApp helps students bypass text messaging and communicate with their friends using this app. I'm going to tell you what's good about it and what's bad. First of all, remember this video I showed you earlier? WhatsApp is a part of it. So Facebook Messenger versus the bad one I hate, Kik Messenger, and I don't use that hate word very often. I dislike it. It's full of predators. WhatsApp, it has a lot less problems, and it's because it requires you to have a real phone number as your username. So it does bypass text messaging, but it requires your real phone number to be verified, which is much more difficult for predators to get a real phone number and then when they're discovered to go get another phone number, because phone numbers are tied to credit cards, which really kind of ties it back to identity. I like WhatsApp because it is owned by Facebook. It is part of the Facebook platform, part of the Facebook family. Is it safe? No. Is the internet safe? No. It's in our gray zone because your students can bypass some things, but it's very popular. It's got a few safety precautions built in, so it can be good and bad for your students. Okay, how are we doing so far? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs sideways. How are we doing? Thumbs up? Great. Thank you. Okay, now we're on to my least favorite part, but I think it is the most helpful, and that is why I will never avoid this part. The red zone. These are the anonymous apps. Here are the apps we consider not to be safe for teens and tweens or any students that are under 18 years old. These apps we do not recommend. They usually have inappropriate and unmonitored content. They lend themselves to cyberbullying. Often these apps are anonymous and will encourage students to behave in a way that we have never seen before. When students, even if they're good students, when they use this app in anonymous mode, which is without being tied to their real identity, they tend to behave much less nicely, in fact, very badly. They're also more prone to being bullied by predators in this zone. Okay. If you have a technology person at your school, they can click this button and they can post this app guide on their website. They can copy this code over and put this little button there. This is a free resource for millions of parents. It's our most visited website resource because parents want to know how to become experts. Remember our concerns. So if you ever want to do that, give that for free to your technology person. First, we start in alphabetical order. The After School app. Can you raise your hand if you've heard of this app? Please? Anyone? Okay, no. After School is an anonymous app that creates a separate chat group for every school. It has been removed twice from the App Store because of threats and arrests. That is a huge deal. Messages often include bullying, pornography, and alcohol or drug-related references. If your student has this logo, please look at it. Please memorize this in your head. You can, long after I'm over, you can go to Safe Smart Social and for free look at these logos, but please don't allow your student to be on this app. This is one of my only things I will strongly emphasize. These are not good zones. Ask FM is a social networking website where people can ask questions with the option of being anonymous. However, this is the godfather of all cyberbullying apps and predator apps. It is creepy. Please do not allow your student to be on this one. This is the bad zone. Never before have I ever heard a college say, you know what? We're offering full ride scholarships to students that are on these apps because we love what they're saying. No, they're not there. They don't want to see you there. There's no productivity. There is no upside to this. It's a social, kids often reveal too much information on Ask FM. On this site, cyberbullying is prevalent. Some will tell you, it was recently purchased by ask.com. That does not mean much. It does not help. This is a bad place for your students to hang out. The Burnbook app. Oh, side note, we have something called a social media audit where we can help you audit your students online. It's an analysis. You can come to this long after this is over and see those little advertisements. Burnbook app. Burnbook is an anonymous app for posting text, photos, and audio rumor messages about others. This app compiles messages by school, so the app requires access to your location. Problem number 1, it's anonymous, but you share your location. It encourages students to screenshot the rumors and save them to their phone. Let me repeat that. This app actually gives you points for screenshotting rumors and saving them to your phone. Very creepy app. When we launched this video, it got 3,000 views within 5 days, which is scary. Calculator private photo app. How many of you have ever heard of this? Please raise your hand. Okay, we've got a third of the room, half the room. Now, the private photo calculator, this is one of the best videos we've ever made in the scary zone. Please write this down. If you have a notepad in front of you, parents, right now, please write down the Calculator private photo app. This is a video you need to watch long after this is over. It's designed to help students hide photos and videos behind an innocent-looking calculator app. This app looks like a calculator, but entering a passcode opens the private area. This video also shows you some secrets on how to discover, for free, how to discover if your students have downloaded these bad apps and to find out if they've ever deleted them, to hide them from you. It's kind of weird, but this is a great video that has lots of hidden nuggets in there to start a dialogue and become an expert on these, okay? Next, the Kik Messenger app. Kik allows anyone in the app to contact your child and directly message them. It has been known to allow adults to communicate with preteens. It is very difficult to discern who is a predator and who is real. Some adults have been known to use this app to pretend like they are tweens and teens. Kik allows students to bypass text messaging features of their phone. Users can connect with anyone on the network and aren't limited to their phone's contact list. Kik Messenger is not based in the United States, my friends. It is based in Canada. What does that mean? First of all, predators are prevalent here. Robots are prevalent. It is very weird. You should watch the video to dive in deep. But you need to know that if something were to happen, and in January, there was a death of a 13-year-old young woman because of this app. Some people would say, no, it's not because of the app. It happened. She met people on this app, and it was tragic. This app is a place, I want you to memorize that logo. I would do your family a disservice if I did not show you this and tell you, please take a snapshot or do something or watch the video. The Omegle app, and the reason why it's not good to ever use apps outside the United States is because if something happens where there's bullying or anything, or heaven forbid something worse, how quickly do you think we can go to the Canadian government to say, please go contact this company and force them to give us the IP addresses and locations? That is a much slower process. But when you deal with Facebook, they have a division that says we will respond rapidly. And it's tied to your real identity. Also, Kik is just it's really basically an anonymous chat app. Omegle is an anonymous text and video chat room that connects strangers to talk with each other. Let me repeat that. It connects strangers to talk with each other. The app allows you to share personal information and contains inappropriate and unmonitored content. The Uvo app used to be in our gray zone, and I realized I do not like this app. It has recently moved to our red zone. It is one of the world's largest video and messaging apps. Parents should be aware that Uvo is used by predators to contact underage students. This app can allow users to video chat with up to 12 people at one time. Lots of other video chat apps you could use, like Google's technology or Microsoft's Skype wonderful alternatives to have privacy settings and a real company that has built-in security precautions. The Secret app. Secret is an app that allows you to share messages anonymously within their circle of friends, friends of friends, and publicly. Now this is a powerful thing. If you have a notebook, this is something to write. Please consider writing this down. This is something to teach your students. Students often hide behind being anonymous. They forget that being anonymous does not mean being untraceable. I think that is one of the key takeaways today. Being anonymous does not mean being untraceable. Josh, what does that mean? If you make a bomb threat on this app or any of these apps, any of them, and it is near your school, about your school. I was talking 2 days ago with an officer I've become friends with a lot of officers that use our videos to protect people. And he said, Josh, we are forced to go in and find these kids, either show up on their front door or whatever. But you as parents, if you buy your kids these phones, you are now responsible. Anonymous does not mean untraceable. A bomb threat is basically going through it's called the TSA rule. If you would not say it, walking through the TSA line at the airport, do not say it on an app because it is traceable. You would not mention the word bomb. And if you're near a school or in a chat group, it is just as bad. Okay, I'm sorry to be negative here, but you get the idea. It is very, very serious. The Slingshot app, one of our newer app guides. It's a comparison app marketed to young boys that allows users to vote and create polls. Slingshot users can create any type of poll, including polls that are not appropriate for teens. This app is popular with students, and the comment section is used to bully other students. Here's the problem with this. It has forced advertising that pops up every few minutes that you cannot get out of. If you watch the video, the 4-minute to 5-minute video that we created, we spent hours building this video for you for free, and you can become an expert in 4 minutes. It'll show you that these videos are very inappropriate, stuff that I have a feeling you do not want your students to see. Now there's a sister app to Slingshot, and it is down here called Wishbone. Slingshot's for boys, Wishbone's for girls. Okay, just to tie it all together. But these are in alphabetical order. Street Chat app. Once again, Slingshot is based in Santa Monica, California. Not too far from where I'm at right now, unfortunately. Street Chat app. Street Chat is a live photo sharing board designed for middle school, high school, and college students. Students feel more freedom to send mean posts because they do not have to confirm their identity within the app. This leads to students often posting about real people. Tumblr. How many of you have heard of Tumblr? Raise your hand, please. Okay. How many of you have students that might have Tumblr? Anybody? Okay, one in the back. Now, Tumblr is one of the world's most popular blogging platforms. I think majority of it was bought by Yahoo. Users tend not to use their real names, so it can be hard to find blogs without knowing a specific username. Here's the problem. The problem is, in Tumblr's terms of service, if you watch our video, it says that they are okay with pornographic and adult content. They are okay with it. It says that legally. I am not a lawyer. I am not a licensed psychologist, but I am here to protect you. If you see your students on Tumblr and they go to the top and they go into the search box, they can search for any pornographic information that they want. It is terrible. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm warning you, it is very, very scary. Okay, next. That's why we don't suggest it. We'd rather you sit down with your student and learn off YouTube with guided access or something. Oh, by the way, I've got another app guide that's really cool. If you work with younger students, small little diversion. If you work with younger students, please go watch this video. I have a 2-year-old little nephew. It teaches you how I can hand the phone to my nephew and make sure that he doesn't get into all kinds of apps. He can watch a little bit of YouTube for Kids, YouTube Kids, the app. It's kind of cool. It's a very careful selection of YouTube videos that are just designed for little kids to teach them stuff. So iPhone guided access lets kids get access to your phone without leaving the app, without touching certain buttons. Really powerful video. Once again, I'm biased, but I spent hours learning how to use that technique to give it to you. What's Goodly app? What's Goodly is an anonymous location-based social polling application designed for college students. It has a 17+ age restriction, but younger students can see polls and vote. There's a lot of questions about dating, relationships, alcohol, and smoking on the app. Once again, it's a 4-minute video to make you the expert. Whisper app, this is a really bad one. Whisper is an anonymous social networking app that allows people to express themselves. Whisper reveals a user's location, which makes it easy for people to arrange to meet up. It also makes it easier for predators to locate and connect with users. Very creepy place. Please know what that W looks like. Look for it on your student's phone. Wishbone is the secret app to the other one I just showed you. What was its name? Called the Slingshot app. Okay, notice the Slingshot has a Y and Wishbone has a U, an upside down Y. Wishbone is a comparison app marketed to girls. You can vote, create polls. You can create any type of poll. The app is popular with students in the comment section. Once again, a lot of bullying. Next is the Yik Yak app. How many? Raise your hand nice and high if you've heard of the Yik Yak app, please. Okay. Yik Yak acts like a local bulletin board for your area by showing the most recent posts from other users around you. The app is popular with high school students and is often used to harm the self-esteem of fellow students. It is an anonymous Twitter where you can only see posts within 5 miles. There's some other ways to jump into other cities and schools. It's very, very unique. And here's why it's unique. Studies show, and our rough data, not studies, let me tell you what I've found. I speak to tens of thousands of students a year. We find, talking to educators, talking to parents, that these apps like Yik Yak, once you're in college, they're actually useful. You can see what's going on around you. When you're 18 or under, you for some reason have a lot less wisdom and you're protected by your parents, so you feel the need to jump on them, and there's a lot of bullying and sharing and negative stuff. But as soon as you become an adult, the anonymous apps have less of a threat and bullying, but when you're younger, it can be very, very bad. So just know that if some college students go, no, it's not that bad, it is very bad for high school, middle school, and elementary school. Now we're on to our last Red Zone app. YouNow is a popular broadcasting platform where kids and students watch and stream real-time videos. Users decide where the broadcasters should continue live videos with a thumbs up or thumbs down. So students are trying to impress other people. What do you think happens when they're trying to impress random people? Anyone can record the videos posted, take screenshots, and bully others with the recordings. Okay, give me a thumbs up. We just went through the Red Zone. How are we doing? Okay, now, once again, this has 3,200 shares. If you want to embed this in an educator website or you know somebody, you can click the green button at the top of the page. If you want to join our newsletter to get these delivered to your inbox, all the latest ones, you can scroll on this page, anywhere on our pages. You can put your first name, your email, and your zip code so that if we come to your town, we can invite you to a speech. If you're not in the USA and you're watching this, you can tell us what country you're from, and you get it for free. Everything is 100% for free on our website. And that was our popular app guide for parents and teachers. Now I want to jump back over to the presentation and show you a couple things real quick, because we're rounding out our presentation. I want to make sure that we don't go over our time. We talked about the green zone: productive, professional, positive, parent-friendly. We looked through actually an updated version of these. Now remember, there's videos in there. Please consider watching all the green zone videos. Please consider looking through the gray zone. Please consider studying the red zone and knowing ahead of time. Do not share the red zone with your students. Do not open up Pandora's box. Live right now, if you want to get free access to these videos so it emails you, because I know you're all busy. Do you see at the bottom of the screen? go.safesmartsocial.com. If you're in a live event listening to us interactive, you can go to go.safesmartsocial.com and you can sign up. And you can get a free, the first app guide is a bad app and a good app. And I think it's Yik Yak and Instagram. The next one, a week later, you get a bad app and a good app. You become an expert over the course of 10 weeks. And it takes very little time. You click on the one you want to see, you become an expert. Go.safesmartsocial.com if you want to. Once again, these are some of our videos. All right, Josh, I want to talk about monitoring my students. Well, here's what I want to teach you. The first place to go, many of you are going to have this question. Yesterday's speech, I had a lot of parents come up to me and go, well, I've got this question and my student's this age. Should they be public? Should I do this? I tell them all the same thing, and I'm telling all of you, and I hope that half the room does this. I know that only about 1 or 2 of you today will do this, but I truly hope that you'll do this. I hope that you will go to Google. Google is going to answer your question on whether your students should someday be proactively public or private. And the reason is colleges are going to start that search, and you need to know what is on there. Even if your student is in elementary school, I'm going to give you a tool that lets you protect your student today. I couldn't tell people enough yesterday in my live speech how very important it is for them to start with Google. Now, colleges are going to do this. They're going to start with your first name and your last name, and I want to show you how to monitor your students as well. It doesn't matter if they're in elementary school. This is a way to find out if they're misbehaving online. No, Google isn't a protective project, but it is the best. Google and Bing are wonderful tools. You can go to Google or Bing, but here's how colleges will search. They're going to search for your first name and your last name of your student. You can do that. And here's what that tells Google. It says, hey, Google, go find Josh plus Oaks and find them anywhere on the page. You can put Oaks at the top, you can find Josh at the bottom, but go find 10 pages, return them on the first page of Google results, and please get me results that you think are the right fit. Do you think that people are going to find tons of other people when they search for your student's first and last name? The answer is yes. So then they're going to get frustrated. They're going to search for first name and last name in quotes. And this is something I want you to do with your students. Go search for first name and last name in quotes. And it'll start to hone in on who your student really is. Now, once again, a lot of you are going to ask questions. Well, should I do this, this, and this? My answer will always be start with Google. Know where your student's at, and these are the rules. Take a screenshot at the end of this. I'll pause this video, and you can look at these. I have a tool that'll teach you how to do this. First name and last name, and then put it in quotes. And then colleges are someday, and employers and everyone else are going to search for first name plus last name plus city. I can tell you that only 1% of parents do this, and the people that do are freaked out about what they find online. Then first name plus last name plus school. They're going to search for the school that your student currently goes for. Please go search, find out what predators would find if they're in elementary school or middle school. If they're in high school, find out as they're filling out their college application what colleges are going to find. Next, if they're frustrated, they find all these other negative people that are inappropriate. They're going to go, well, is this a student we're looking for? If they have your student's middle name on an application, they're going to search for first name plus middle name plus last name. They're going to find tons of public records. Please go do this. And then they're going to search for an email address if they have it on the application. What is the email address of the student? Now, we have a tool that does this for you each week for 100% free. I designed a tool when I was running for politics that said, I thought, wouldn't it be nice? I have to search for myself online every week, around every Friday. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody would email me every week and say, Josh, number one, go remember to search for yourself because nobody has time to do this. Number two, here's some buttons. Go click on these buttons, and we will auto-populate Google with these formulas. Because this could take you 15 minutes, and you would forget, and you'd go, "Oh, I'm sidetracked." What if you got all these as buttons? I have a tool called Footprint Friday. It's a free tool to monitor your students' online footprint each week. This tool helps parents monitor their students on social media every Friday in less than 5 minutes. And it's on the right-hand side. You opt in. We have, as of yesterday, we have 799 families monitoring their students using this. It's really neat. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see a sample of my email that I get about myself. I pretend like you're my parents, and you would get an email that says, search Google text for Josh Oaks. Search Google Images for Josh Oaks. So how many of you, raise your hand if you've searched and clicked on the Google Image tab for your student. Anybody in the room right now? We don't have anyone. Oh man. Oh, I gotta tell you, you're gonna find the most random and sometimes weird things. And I wish I had another hour to spend with you to show you how bad this could go. Next, search Google for Josh Keith Oaks, my middle name. Search Google for Josh Oaks Santa Monica. Really, what these do is when you click this button in your email, it takes you to Google and it automatically populates this formula: Josh Oaks in quotes plus the city I live in. Josh Oaks plus the high school I went to. Now, I'm not in high school anymore, but you get the idea. The school that I went to. And then, other things. And then here's my Gmail address. Why are you giving this away? Because my Gmail address is something I search for. And I'd rather get a couple spammers than you. I'd rather be crystal clear. Now, it now allows you to put 2 students in here. You can add a second student. It's really neat. It's 100% free for right now. We used to charge for it. I opened it up. It's beautiful. It's really cool. What do parents say about this, Josh? Here's what Kathy says. Kathy wrote me and said, Josh, I love this service. I showed my middle school daughter just how easy it was to see her picture, her age, her activities, her school, her address, her login info, all based on things she's put on the internet. She was able to see a few older men on her Pinterest, which freaked her out. She took down her info. Yikes, right? Okay, so you've got Footprint Friday. SafeSmartSocial.com is the place to go. I want to thank all of you for watching this video. You've been really, really great. If you have any questions, SafeSmartSocial.com. Please join our newsletter. I want to thank you for coming out today.